What is up, guys? It's Puppy here, bringing you a beginner's guide to Defiance, and in this guide what I'm going to attempt to do is explain some of the game mechanics that may have not been explained very well in the game, if at all. We're going to go ahead and start off with the character creation. Now, when you're creating your character, you're given the option to choose the race of your character and the sex of your character, male, female, or the human or the alien species, and beyond that you're able to choose the background of your character. Now what this will do, as you can clearly see, is it will affect the way you appear and your starting weapon. However, it's good to take note that that's all that it affects, guys. Just because you start off with the outlaw class, that does not mean that you can only use shotguns for the rest of the game. You can use whatever you want. It's the way the game is built. You can interchange. You can start off the game with a sniper rifle if you choose and say, alright, this really isn't for me, and end up going LMG heavy. Or you can be like me and just use a little bit of everything. I just prefer it that way. Now, you guys may be well aware that there are vendors located throughout the map, and these vendors have hour-long specials, but what you may not be aware of is that these vendors actually differ from place to place. They will not have the same thing. This actually was something I did not realize at first until I fast-traveled between two places. So if you're trying to hunt for just something new or a specific item, it's worth fast-traveling between the various locations and hitting up the various vendors to see if they have what you're looking for on sale. Eventually, throughout your course in the game, you will run into these faction-based vendors. Now, these faction-based vendors will have some really nice items in there, and those items will actually get better as you level up and as you increase your ego rating. However, if you want to purchase things from them, you have to increase your standing with the factions. You can find out what you need to do in order to increase your standing with these various factions by hitting the start menu and then pulling up the selector wheel and moving your selection over to goals. Once you're over to goals, if your ego rating is high enough, you will be able to hit the right bumper and you will be able to see the various contracts that are available to you. And then it's just a matter of pushing the select button to see what it is that you need to do for that faction. It may also be worth mentioning that some of the locations that these contracts need to be done at is in a co-op map. So if you don't immediately recognize the area that they want you to do the contract in, check your co-op maps. You can do this by hitting the start button, pulling up that wheel again, and then going to the matchmaking section, and then going over to the left where you will see the co-op missions. Now, you guys may have noticed that each weapon has its own individual experience bar, and this experience bar will actually go up the more you use the weapon. This is actually based on the damage that you are doing with that weapon. However, there is an exception to that rule, and that is that in Arc Falls co-op missions and in PvP, it is not necessarily related to damage. I haven't quite figured out what it is that it affects it, but I believe you have to land the killing shot on a specific target in order to get any experience for it. Now, there's two more things that I wanted to point out about these weapon experience bars. The first thing is that as it goes up, you will actually unlock extra perks for that individual weapon, making it better the more you use it. That said, however, though, it's worth noting that once the experience bar for an individual weapon is full, continuing to use that specific weapon will ensure that your weapon skills no longer increase. So if you want these skills here to go up, you're going to have to swap weapons. Perhaps a better way to say that is if you want to master a specific weapon type, you're going to have to frequently switch which weapons it is that you're using within that weapon type. Another thing to note is that when you select a ego power at the start of the game, you need to keep in mind that you're not going to be restricted to that power for the duration of the game. You will be able to unlock all of the ego powers, although you will not be able to use them all simultaneously. You will have to use them one at a time in a given loadout. But you can unlock them all by unlocking the skills in between them, creating a path, and then unlocking the skill itself. I also highly recommend unlocking the cloak skill first, but that's going to require a little bit more explanation as to why. So let me just get something else out of the way first. If you link your account to the Defiance website, or if you're on PC you're already linked, you'll notice that in the My Ego section there's a place to put in key codes. Now, these codes were scattered throughout the various Defiance advertisements that they ran before the game was launched. However, lucky for us, someone has put them all together over on the Defiance wiki, which I will go ahead and throw the link to that down in the description below. I highly recommend going to the wiki and looking at all the codes that are going to be near the bottom of the page and entering them into the Defiance website, because that'll give you a lot of in-game perks that'll really help you out. And if you've put in those 120 codes and have unlocked everything there is to unlock, one of those things will have been the scavenger perk, and that is really why I recommended that you guys go ahead and unlock cloak first, because if you guys look here, you'll see that it takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points or ego points to get over to the cloak ability, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to get over to the decoy ability. However, you're not going to have to spend another 5 points to get to the overload ability because you have this scavenger perk right here. It only takes an extra 2, thus giving you all the abilities that much earlier. And 2 more tips to send you guys out on, although they're really one and the same. If you happen to get stuck by some of the hellbug snot that slows you down, go ahead and just remember to do like you do if you step in some doggy doo and wipe it off in the grass by going ahead and throwing in a double roll. And if you happen to get caught on fire, the old adage is still true here. Stop, drop, and roll. Stop, drop, and roll. Remember, that's twice. You can do it once, sometimes it works, but I notice it's more consistent if you do it twice. I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. I hope this information was useful to you. That's all from me. This is Puppy signing out. Peace.